What is going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here, back with another video. Just before we get into the video, don't forget to like or dislike the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a comment down below. WWE superstars have opinions about the promotion and their co-workers, even if they may be reluctant to air them for fear of backlash. Still, that hasn't stopped some superstars from dishing the dirt. Here are 10 shocking confessions from WWE wrestlers. Number 1. Daniel Bryan preferred working in the Independents. As we've shown before, the WWE hypes itself as the place to be for wrestlers. Whether it's calling Madison Square Garden the mecca of professional wrestling or nicknaming WrestleMania the showcase of a mortal, the WWE promotes the company as the place wrestlers aspire to work, both for mainstream exposure and maximum payouts. However, as Daniel Bryan learned, things aren't always what they appear to be. Bryan confessed that he did not make as much money in the WWE as he did on the independent circuit until he hit the main event. Furthermore, he didn't enjoy working there as much as he did in previous company. Fortunately for Bryan, he met future wife Brie Bella and won over the fans and management, becoming a main event star until injuries shortened his career. Number 2. JBL asked John Morrison to steal Justin Roberts' passport. The stories of JBL's backstage bullying have become well known, but that wasn't always the case. Over time, an avalanche of stories have buried JBL's denials to being a bully. One such story was told by former WWE superstar John Morrison, aka Lucha Underground's Johnny Mundo. Morrison recalls how JBL pressured him and Joey Mercury to steal ring announcer Justin Roberts' passport while they were on an overseas tour. While JBL has denied stealing the passport, someone did, making travel difficult for the WWE's announcer. "They took my passport out of my bag. I got to the airport in Manchester and I couldn't get on the plane to go home. I had to fly to London and go to the US Embassy to get a new passport. Once I got a new passport, I took the train to the airport and eventually got a flight back. I traveled from London to Boston, Boston to Phoenix, then drove to Phoenix to Tucson for TV for SmackDown." As more allegations of JBL's bullying continue to surface, fans can only wonder why the WWE let it continue for so long, particularly for a company that participates in anti-bullying initiatives. Number 3. Shawn Michaels wrestled drunk. The Heartbreak Kid's battle with personal demons are well known, with Michaels himself confessing in his memoir Heartbreak and Triumph that he battled substance abuse addiction. However, fans may not know that Michaels confessed to wrestling drunk on more than one occasion. During an interview with Sports Illustrated's Maggie Gray on her podcast The Gray Area, the showstopper confessed he didn't let a few drinks stop him from putting on a classic show for his fans. Michaels boasted he felt he could wrestle stellar matches blindfolded, so he didn't let alcohol intoxication hold him back. Despite Michaels' considerable talents, wrestling drunk was a great breach of the trust wrestlers are supposed to have for each other while performing. Number 4. Vince McMahon didn't push Gail Kim because she was Asian. Wrestling fans have seen wrestlers flounder in the WWE only to thrive elsewhere. One such wrestler was Gail Kim, a talented female wrestler who had a fair share of success in the WWE but became a much bigger star in TNA's Knockouts division. Kim came back to the WWE for a second run, but grew so disgusted with the WWE she vowed never to return. Kim's talents earned her Pro Wrestling Illustrated's pick as 2012's #1 women's wrestler, and she's been lauded by peers such as Mick Foley, who said, "No discussion of all-time great female wrestlers is complete without the inclusion of her name." So why the problem in the WWE? During an episode of his podcast, Jim Ross disclosed Vince McMahon felt fans wouldn't think of Asian women as sexy, hence the lack of a push for Gail Kim. Gail Kim confessed she wasn't surprised. Number 5. Kurt Angle took 65 Vicodin a day. As Kurt Angle often boasted, he won an Olympic gold medal with a freaking broken neck. Unfortunately, Angle's body took a beating in amateur wrestling as well as professional wrestling, so by 2006, Angle was a broken shell of a man who was lucky to be walking. He was also lucky to be alive, as he confessed he was taking up to 65 Vicodin a day to cope with the pain and still wrestle full time. The WWE reportedly pleaded with Angle to get help, but when he refused, they released him, hence his career in TNA. The WWE was so shocked by Angle's confession, they refused to take him back, fearful he might die in the ring. Now that Angle is apparently clean and sober, he's enjoying a second run in the WWE as Raw General Manager, occasionally stepping into the ring. Number 6. WWE pays peanuts to many of its talent. Over the last few years, more and more stories stories have surfaced about the WWE underpaying its talent, particularly independent workers who make the jump to the supposed big show known as the WWE. Wrestlers such as Alberto Del Rio and Ryback have noted the vast discrepancies in pay between WWE wrestlers, and indie stars such as the Young Bucks claim there's money to be made signing with Ring of Honor and New Japan than the WWE. While the potential to make more money exists in the WWE, the starting pay seems much lower than smaller promotions. Number 7. Owen Hart's final entrance was not originally planned. Owen Hart's entrance stunt gone wrong shook the wrestling world to its core, as fans and wrestlers alike wondered what went wrong and why the WWF insisted on the stunt. Over time, it was revealed the WWF was at fault for not using the right equipment for Owen's descent from the rafters, negligence that resulted in Owen's death. As bad as that was, a recent confession by Vince Russo reveals the entrance was not originally planned and was only considered at the last moment. During an interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin, Russo confessed he wanted to spice up Owen's Blue Blazer character, and while Owen was reluctant to work the stunt, he agreed because he didn't want to draw a backlash for refusing it. Number 8. Stone Cold Steve Austin stomped a mudhole in wife Debra for real. Stone Cold Steve Austin won over WWF fans with his no-nonsense attitude and lack of respect for all authority, combining it with a love for many a cold Steve-wiser. Unfortunately, Austin's love for alcohol led to problems outside the ring, particularly when he was involved in a domestic dispute with his wife Debra. During a 2007 interview with Fox News, Debra Marshall discussed the details of one domestic abuse incident. "I tell you what, the last time, and I've never talked about this, the last time Steve attacked me, alcohol was involved. He jumped on me. He's on my back with his knee in my back, pounding me in the back and in my face. I thought I was going to die." Debra went on to discuss going to work with bruises and how the WWE covered things up. And then, like, for me to have Stone Cold Steve Austin arrested? Oh my gosh, they so hush-hushed that. Put it under the table. They put a gag on me for a year that I couldn't talk about this because they knew that I could totally bring down their top star. While this may be interpreted as he said she said incident, Steve Austin himself confessed to an incident with him and Debra in his memoir, The Stone Cold Truth. Austin did not address the particulars but expressed regret for the incident. Debra has claimed Austin beat her on more than one occasion, so it is unknown which incident Austin expressed regret over. What is known is that Austin pleaded no contest to a charge of misdemeanor assault on his wife from an incident in 2002. Number 9. Jerry the King Lawler intentionally broke Paul Heyman's jaw. Jerry the King Lawler was well known for having one of the most realistic look punches during his run as a full-time wrestler. The King could make it look like he was knocking a wrestler's block off without doing any harm. However, Lawler apparently knew how to throw a real punch too, as Paul Heyman found out when Lawler slugged him during a match, breaking his jaw. Was it a potato or intentional? According to Lawler, he couldn't stand Heyman at the time, so he decided to break his jaw. Fans of Memphis Wrestling and manager Jimmy Hart may recall an incident where Lawler broke Hart's jaw during a match. While Lawler hasn't confessed to intentionally breaking Hart's jaw, many suspect, including Hart himself, that Lawler broke the manager's jaw in retaliation for comments Hart made where he said, "What do you do with a horse when it breaks its leg? Baby, you shoot him," after Lawler broke his leg in a football game. And number 10. Bret Hart hated the WBF. In an interview with Kayfabe Commentaries, WWE Hall of Famer Bret the Hitman Hart discussed the WWF's woes during the time of the World Bodybuilding Federation and how scandals were devastating to the WWF's business. Hart confessed he had no respect for bodybuilders, calling them zeros. The always outspoken Hart dismissed the bodybuilders, putting them down for their vanity and comparing them to fashion models. Hart resented that the WBF body stars were paid more than the WWF's top stars, and they were flown first class to boot. Hart said the WBF couldn't have come at a worse time, while the WWF was testing its wrestlers for steroids. Hart also confessed he avoided IcoPro as it tasted terrible and did nothing to help his physique. The Hitman went further, saying he couldn't give the IcoPro away. With that in mind, don't forget to check out our Behind the Titantron 2-part video on the WBF. Well guys, there you have it. 10 shocking confessions from WWE wrestlers. Would you like a part 2 to this? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.